What's up, y'all? I got a different type of video for you today. So, occasionally some bands will put out a fantastic record and the follow-up kind of falls flat. So I got 10 examples of a band that put out a great record and the follow-up is kind of not bad, it didn't hold a candle to the previous record. And unlike my 10 terrible albums I went Saint Anger video, these albums aren't necessarily bad, they're just kind of not as great as the album prior. Although there's one album on this list I think sucks, but the rest I still like. Obviously, else I wouldn't own them, but yeah. So let's get into it. First, if you can hear the noise behind my head, we're listening to the Destroy discography. So Destroy were a Minneapolis crusty grind band from back in the day. They're obviously not around anymore. They've been broken up for a while. So this is from their discography from 1990 to 94. So I guess this is their 30th anniversary of them breaking up. But yeah, it has all that included. So it has their one full length, two different Disrupt split 7 inches, two more standalone 7 inches, and then a couple like compilation tracks and a bonus track. But yeah, let me show you that better. So there's the front of that. There's the actual. Now there's the full length. So there you go. Yes, if you feel like super fast, kind of grindy crust, this is a cool thing. It gets super cheap online too. So it's like $10. So yeah, get that. Alrighty, so like I said, these albums aren't bad just compared to the previous masterpiece. It's kind of not as great. And this is alphabetical order too, so no like particular order. So let's start with maybe one of the most contentious ones. It's probably going to be a hot take, which I'm sure most of these will be, but oh well, it's my opinion, so if you don't like it, make your own list. I know, Bathory and Hammerheart, so considering they had to follow up that masterpiece, it could have been an awesome follow-up, but honestly, I don't think it's not bad. I don't think the songwriting was as great as like his later Viking stuff, like Twilight of the Gods, Blood on Ice, and the No Land Records completely smoked this album. Like, this one's not bad, just as far as like the greatest hit. If you had to make like the ultimate best of Bathory records, would you really choose that many from this record? Not really. Probably One Road to Asa Bay and Baptized in Fire or Ice are two great songs, but the rest of them, I couldn't even tell you what they sound like. If you say, alright, Hall, Swords and Flames, or Father to Son, or Valhalla, I couldn't tell you, man, but yeah. Not a bad record. I still own it. It's decent, but man, when I'm in the mood for the Viking era of Bathory, I never pull this record. I don't know. Like I said, it's not bad considering what they had to follow or let down, but it could have worked if I know he mentioned that Blood on Ice was actually supposed to be like written after Blood, Fire, Death, which I don't know if that was true, but I think that would have been an awesome follow-up because that's definitely my favorite Viking era album by Bathory. But yep, so first pick, Bathory Hammerheart. Like I said, not bad, just kind of so compared to Blood, Fire, Death. Here's another contentious one maybe, but I know a few people will agree with me. Dark Angel Leaf Scars. Good record, a lot more technical than Darkness Descends, which that's definitely by far the best record in my opinion. Then after this, they went even more up the deep end with technicality, but man, this record I think would have been a lot better without potentially one of the most annoying singers in thrash, Ron Reinhardt. He's almost like Sean Killian level of annoying. Sean Killian from Violence, I mean, but yeah. Honestly, after a while, I can only handle his vocals for so long. I mean, this songwriting's good, but I didn't want Dark Angels to be more technical. I want them to continue on with the more like aggressive, in-your-face style. Not to say this record isn't aggressive, but compared to Darkness Descends, man, I don't know, dude. But yeah. Favorites on here probably Death of Innocence and the title track. And there's also a terrible cover of Immigrant song by Led Zeppelin. I'm not sure why thrash bands at the early 80s, or late 80s, early 90s decided it was a good idea to cover a bunch of like old boomer rock songs, but oh well, they weren't the only ones. Corner did it, Destruction did it, but for the band did it, so yeah. Like I said, good record just compared to the masterpiece that was Darkness Descends doesn't hold a candle, but yep. Could have been better if it had Don Dottie. This is going to be a short video, but oh well. So another one people might agree with me on. Death Individual Thought Patterns. Following Human. That was going to be a tough task, but man, Honestly, there's only 3 songs on this record I actually go back to. Overactive Imagination, Jealousy, and Philosopher. Those 3 are bangers. The rest, I don't know, not bad, just kind of so-so. Though I think The Sound of Perseverance is easily the worst record. It's definitely my second least favorite. But yeah. Of the post-human era, like the last 3, Symbolic is by far the best, because this one's so-so and so is the last one, but Symbolic is fucking awesome. But yeah. Good record, just not one of the best, obviously. So this came out in 1993 too, so yeah. I know The Philosopher is definitely probably by far the most popular track on this record, because that's the one that had the music video, but yeah. So Death, Individual Thought Patterns again. Not terrible, just compared to the first 4 and Symbolic didn't hold a candle. Alright, so this one, I've seen people say recently this is like their favorite album by this band. I kind of understand that, but I'm not really sure why, so I'm probably gonna get some tomatoes thrown at me for this one, but I don't care. So bring it on. I know, hear me out. Again, this has like the Dark Angel problem with the vocals kind of aren't very good, which I know they did an EP with the singer from Nirvana 2002, which was called Crawl, and his vocals were a lot better than Nicky Anderson's, which I'm not sure why they fired LG, but I think if he did this album, it would have been a little bit better, but honestly, this record's just kind of boring. Like, Living Dead, Crawl, and Stranger Eons are good, but the rest of the record, I don't know, man. They went for a more thrashy edge, which I usually would like, but for them, I don't think it worked very good, and after this, no bueno. I know people love Wolverine Blues, I'm not sure why, but I don't know, man. This record's good, but compared to the masterpiece that is Left Hand Path, though I think Left Hand Path is kind of a little bit overhyped, but not like totally, but yeah. Good record. Maybe if this was their first album, I'd be able to like it more, but man, the last few times I've listened to this, I thought it was kind of boring, but yeah. Again, good records compared to Left Hand Path, nowhere near as good. Alright, so this next one is the only record on this stack that I think flat out sucks, which I think no one will defend this record. If you do, you're probably lying. What the hell happened? I don't know what the fuck they were thinking on this record. This is created with Renewal. I mean, Coma of Souls of the classic first 5 is my second least favorite, but still, man. I mean, seriously, come on, guys. This is almost like uninspired, like groovy hardcore kind of, which Millie, he definitely changed his vocals. He went for like they don't sound the same, but how like Fenris from Darkthrone is doing like a drunken yell guy. He almost sounds kind of like that, but like 20 years before Fenris started that annoying shit, so yeah. All the thrash is basically gone. It's just super groovy and boring, not even that heavy. All the riffs are super generic, the vocals are terrible, but yeah. And sadly, this isn't even their worst album. They've done like 2 worse ones, which is kind of impressive. They actually managed to make 2 albums worse than this, but yeah. Kreator, Renewal. I'm not even sure why I own this piece of trash, but oh well. Yeah, I'm sure no one will defend this one. If you do, I think you're lying. Alright, so this one, another one, not terrible, but this is where the decline started for these guys, at least for a while. Iron Maiden, No Prayer for the Dying, so Seventh Son is not one of my favorites from the 80s. It's probably maybe my least favorite 80s album with Bruce, either that or Number of the Beast, but man. Fear of the Dark I think is awesome. There's some great deep tracks on that record. I like about half of that album, like, what's the one song? Like Be Quick or Be Dead, and the title track, and Judas Be My Guide. Those are some awesome deep tracks, but here, honestly, I only like Tail Gunner and Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, which people seem to hate that song. I think that's probably the best song on the album. Besides that, I don't know, man. If you could say, alright, what does Run Silent, Run Deep sound like? What does Holy Smoke sound like? What does Fate's Warrior sound like? I would be like, yeah, I have no idea, dude, but yeah. Definitely not a great record, not totally terrible, but just super, like, it's one of the albums just kind of there, which is how I felt about San Juice. Just like, oh, just a random album that's in the middle of the discography that, like, no one really pays attention to. It's almost like the forgotten album, but yeah. I like the cover art though. Too bad, like, they had an awesome cover art and a kind of generic album, but oh well. So yep, Iron Maiden, No Prayer for the Dying, 1990. I forgot to mention this, so the Kreator was 94 and Clandestine was 91. So this is another record I've seen people say this is their favorite album by this band. Again, I'm not sure why, but to each their own. I totally disagree. Morbid Angel, Domination. So following, I know people seem to talk crap about this record recently. I'm not sure why. I mean, you're very wrong, but oh well. So on this record, this is a perfect example of should have been an EP. Take, Dominate, Where the Slime Lives, Eyes to See, Ears to Hear, and Dawn of the Angry. Take those 5 songs, this would have been a face melter of an EP, one of their best releases. Every other song is super boring and unmemorable. I mean, like, Hate Work, no, that's terrible. Inquisition, Burn With Me, Nothing But Fear, Melting, Caesar's Palace. There's a bunch of dumb, like, pointless interlude, boring tracks that don't really go anywhere, so yeah. The good songs make it worth owning, but the rest of the record, honestly, I usually just play the first 3 songs, then skip Dawn of the Angry, then turn the record off, but yeah. And one of the worst artworks too. I mean, what am I looking at? This is pretty terrible, but yeah. It's like the stupid, it's like Stone Edge, wannabe Stone Edge people, but yeah, and their logo thing, but yeah. Definitely by far my least favorite of the first 6 albums, which I see people say this is like one of their favorites. I'm not sure why, but oh well, to each their own. So yeah, not completely useless. They've done worse, obviously. A little video in sense, I'm looking at you, but yeah, those 4 or 5 songs make it worth owning, but the rest of the record is basically useless. So yeah. Morbid Angel, Domination. So this is basically, as far as I'm concerned, where I lay the rules of the grave of this band. So this is where they died, for me. Obituary, World Demise. After the Incomplete, man, I'm done, dude. This, not terrible, just super generic and nothing memorable about it at all, honestly. Which for me, that basically describes most of what they've done after the Incomplete. I like Don't Care, the title track, and Final Thoughts. The rest, no bueno, dude. I mean, even by the album artwork, it has like some like industrial kind of like groovy, weird parts, but yeah. I think there's one song that has like an industrial sample. Yeah, it's a sample from, let me see this on the bottom. It's like a sample from an industrial artist on the track Kill For Me, which I'm not sure why they thought about that was a good idea. Then after, what was the album after this one? XI something. Oh yeah, Back From the Dead, that was garbage too, and it has like some rapper on it, so screw that, but yeah. Man, so yeah, definitely not a very great record, and honestly, this could be one of the ones I could argue I don't even like, but yeah. World Demise, definitely a letdown. I know some people say you could argue that Incomplete's a letdown, the cause of death, which I wouldn't argue that, but I still like most of the Incomplete, where this is just basically like, just sits in. I only have this because I have that CD box set, so I definitely never would have bought this on my own, but yeah. Obituary, World Demise. Well, I lay the rules of the grave of Obituary as far as I'm concerned. The last 2, so like I said, this is going to be a short video. So another band, this is where I basically lay the rose at their grave, as far as them dying. Sepultura, Chaos AD. So again, like Domination, this is another example of should have been an EP, because take Refuse, Resist, Territory, Slave in the World, Propaganda, by Take Us Godzilla. Take those 5 songs and you have an awesome EP. The rest of it, like Amen, No Man, We Are Not As Others, The Hunt, Clench Fist. I don't know, man. I don't like. They have some more like slightly groovy moments on the rise, but they actually work to break up the fastness. Like Dead Embryonic Cells, like the more like groovy, heavy parts, and that are awesome. But for this, man, it seems super phoned in and generic. But yeah. And then after this, they did Roots, and then as far as I'm concerned, they basically like the Andreas Kisser and Friend Sepultura tribute band nowadays. But oh well. So yeah. Sepultura, Chaos AD again. I only own this because I have the box set, so that means unfortunately I also have Roots on vinyl, but at the time that was cheaper to buy the first 4 on vinyl that way than to actually buy them individually, but yeah. Good record, just far from the best, and compared to the first four, definitely a letdown. Where they went after that, let's not talk about. This is the only modern album I'm going to talk about today, and my last pick, and they're from a old school band, which there's a couple times they've done this, honestly, but this is, I think, probably one of the bigger ones and a less obvious choice. So this is Sodom's self-titled album. So this followed M16, which is in my top 5 favorite albums from Sodom. That album is awesome, start to front, almost, except for the stupid Surfing Bird cover. But yeah, this, Blood on Your Lips, Wanted Dead, City of God, and Axis of Evil. Those 4 songs are great. The rest, not bad, just kind of like so-so. And honestly, the production is super like weird. I don't even know how to describe the production. It's like kind of like clicky and just really muddy sounding, but yeah, it sounds more like a demo than an actual album. So I'm not sure what happened with that, but M16 sounded great, and the album after this, in one piece, it sounded great too. So I'm not sure what happened with the production on this one, but yeah. So again, Sodom self-titled, not bad. Just honestly, probably my second least favorite behind Masquerade and Blood, but yeah. So there you go, Sodom self-titled. So that's it. I know this was a shorter video, but I didn't want this to drag on super long. I have some more ideas revolving in my head for my next video, which I'm not going to spoil it, but I think you'll probably like it. It'll be a fun one. That's something I've kind of done before, but you'll see what I mean when you get to that topic. So thanks for watching. Take care. Remember, if you like what you heard, I'll link this in the description for the YouTube link or whatever. So yep, check that out. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. It would be cool to see some responses to this. I know some people probably call me an idiot for saying Clandestine's kind of boring, but oh well, we all hear music differently. If we all had the same opinions, that would be pretty boring. So yep. Thanks for watching. Take care. Peace out. Hails.